Not everyone who smiles at you wants you to succeed. Sometimes the people closest to you, the ones who claim to care the most, are silently hoping you stumble. They may clap when you win, but their applause feels hollow, like they're clapping just loud enough to hide their envy. These hidden saboteurs are harder to detect than outright enemies. But if you pay close attention, they always reveal themselves. Today, we're going to uncover the 5 clear signs someone in your life secretly wants to see you fail and what to do about it before they do real damage. Let's begin with something you've probably experienced: sharing good news and being met with lukewarm reactions. Maybe you just landed your dream job, told a friend, and instead of excitement, you got a half smile followed by a comment like, "Must have been lucky timing." That's not support. That's subtle sabotage. The first sign is someone who constantly downplays your achievements. These people never allow you to enjoy your wins. If you get promoted, they suggest the company was desperate. If you lose weight, they say it's easier for you than others. If you buy a house, they question the location or the price. Every accomplishment becomes a target for their passive-aggressive remarks. True supporters celebrate you without conditions. Their faces light up. They ask questions. They're proud of you because they see your success as something inspiring, not threatening. But those who want to see you fail? They can't stand your growth. It shines a spotlight on everything they're not doing in their own life. Your wins feel like losses to them, so they try to shrink your moment until you feel as small as they do. Now, let's talk about a more subtle behavior. The second sign is when someone gives you criticism disguised as concern just when you're about to take a bold step forward. They call it being realistic. They say they're just trying to help, but you walk away from the conversation feeling deflated instead of supported. These are the people who say things like, "Are you sure you're ready for that role?" Or most relationships like that don't work out. They don't offer solutions or encouragement, just doubts. Real constructive feedback empowers you. It's specific, balanced, and comes from a place of genuine belief in your abilities. Fake concern, on the other hand, is vague and filled with fear. It slows you down, makes you question yourself. That's the goal. And it always comes at strategic times, before a big interview, a presentation, or when you're starting something new. Their advice isn't meant to prepare you. It's meant to plant fear just deep enough that you hesitate, hoping you'll never make it far enough to prove them wrong. People like this don't want to protect you. They want to keep you small because your success would expose their insecurity. The third sign is harder to spot at first, but when you see it, it's impossible to unsee. They disappear during your hardest moments but show up when you're back on top. I call them success tourists. They have no interest in helping you build the foundation, but they show up with champagne when the roof is complete. When you're struggling, facing loss, failure, or personal challenges, they're silent. No calls, no messages. But post a picture of a win? They're in your DMs within seconds. So proud of you. Let's catch up soon. This isn't forgetfulness. It's calculated. They don't want to associate with your struggle. It makes them uncomfortable. But your success, that's something they can use. To name drop. To feel important by association. To stay close just in case your shine benefits them somehow. Real friends are there when you're building, failing, learning, and crying. They sit with you in silence during your low points. They check in when no one else does. Fairweather people only love you when there's a photo opportunity. And that's not love, it's ego. Fourth, and perhaps the most emotionally exhausting sign. They turn everything into a competition. You tell them you ran your first 5K, and instead of saying that's awesome, they hit you with, "I ran a half marathon with 0 training. Got a raise?" They mention their friend who got a better one. Bought a new car? They make sure you know theirs has more features. What should be a moment of celebration turns into a battlefield. This type of toxic one-upmanship is rooted in deep insecurity. These people believe success is a limited resource. If you win, they lose. They can't separate your journey from theirs. So instead of clapping for you, they compete. Even when no competition exists, pay attention to how you feel around them. If every win becomes a trigger for their bragging, if they constantly redirect the spotlight back to themselves, they're not supporting you, they're trying to outshine you. And not because they're proud, but because they're afraid of being left behind. Lastly, and perhaps the most dangerous sign of all, is betrayal through leaked private information. This is the person you confided in during a low moment. You trusted them. Maybe you shared something deeply personal. A fear, a relationship issue, a dream you weren't ready to say out loud. And then, somehow, that information comes back to you from someone else. That's not an accident. That's betrayal. And it's strategic. These people collect your vulnerabilities and wait for the right moment to use them. Sometimes it's to get attention. Other times it's to sabotage your credibility. But always it's to maintain control over your story. They might act surprised when you confront them. I didn't think it was a secret, they'll say. I was just worried about you. But behind the excuses is a clear truth. They didn't protect you. They exposed you. And they did it on purpose. Watch for signs. Do they frequently gossip about others? Overshare private details that aren't theirs to tell? If someone easily leaks other stories, they'll eventually leak yours too. True friends treat your secrets as sacred. They know that protecting your vulnerability is a form of loyalty, and they never weaponize your pain. So now that you know the signs, downplaying achievements, offering toxic advice, disappearing during struggle, toxic competition, and leaking secrets, you can choose how to protect yourself. Don't let these people sit front row in your life. Create boundaries. Share less. Spend time with those who cheer when you win. Show up when you fall. And hold your confidence with care. Surround yourself with real support, not silent sabotage. Because the truth is, your success deserves an audience that claps because they're proud, not because they're afraid you'll go further than them.